boo boo, welcome in. No, I'd rather you did. At least one of us is getting some rest. Because I'm not. Also, I still had the crab on my brain earlier while I was working, so I have stuff to make crab rangoons too, which I wasn't thinking about. So I'm gonna probably do that too. Migraine brain go burr. I just straight up wiped the monitor and keyboard down with a cloth earlier. It's a lot cleaner now. All these food streams are contaminating stuff, getting it all over tables and all. Food spackle? Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. I also decided that since these little plastic measuring cups, as pretty as they are, the handles are starting to snap off. I went and bought a set of larger metal ones, so I've got stainless cups now. This is why it was $100 today. This stuff's gonna be easy. Easy food. Some of it better though. I'm definitely not leaving it the way that it is. Back around to actually functioning. Somehow I've had this thought process of actually getting buns and stuff. I think this hamburger recipe is about to turn into a Sloppy Joe recipe. Wasn't even intentional, but I think it's gonna happen. I'll be right back. Oh, oh, hello. What was that? I heard that. Hello, hello. 1 month. Wow. I can't believe I know I've been streaming for 37 at this point, but it's just like not really sinking in how long that actually is. I hate the concept of the months as an option. They should at least tell you the years too. Because I've definitely not got that 3 years thing in my head now. How you doing, Hanyo? I hope it's been going okay for you. I am going to go grab. I was about to go grab a Tylenol though, so give me just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, okay. Gotta be sure to get this in me quick. Alright, prep some chicken for teriyaki. Been practicing trombone today. Get ready for tonight's concert. Got a headache. Oh, you're funny. I really wish these things were like normal for everybody else. Normally when people have big headaches, they just seem to have them for a day or so. Something like that, and then they go away. Me? Nah. 3, 4, 5 weeks, no problem. Just keep going with it, roll with it. No problem. Anyway. We don't need to talk about it. Went off last night. Went watch some videos, get some ideas for recipes. I really need to next week or the week after line up about 15 or 20 of them so that I can have a couple of months worth set up. That way I won't have to keep doing this at the last minute. Rice cooker. We need a rice cooker today. You're going to use rice cooker. Other than that, everything's okay, I think. Something weird going on with the car. It's somehow draining the battery again for no reason. I gotta stop that nonsense. Luckily, the dealership thinks it's their fault, so they're gonna fix it early. They literally told me they're not sure because they replaced the battery last time, so they're not sure whether it was something they did or not. So they're gonna get me in early and get me ahead of the 3-week schedule. So I'm gonna drop it off Tuesday, and hopefully they'll figure out what the drain is. Even if it's, a couple $100, I'll just deal with it. It's fine. I'll get it all fixed up and won't have a problem. And then in another year or so, after everything else is paid off, I'll probably sell it and go buy myself a new one to replace it with. One with 360-degree cameras on it, so I can watch all the people hitting it at work. I wish that was a joke. Hey, Great Paws, welcome in. It's been a little while. How you doing? We are going to use up all of these peppers today, hopefully. We froze a bunch of peppers a couple weeks ago. We're going to use them. Doing good? What, you just replace the kitchen faucet? Well, okay, that's good. Indulge in your midlife crisis feelings and get something fast. Dude, if I had done that, I'd already be driving around in that yellow Ferrari I found. You going next weekend? Going where? I think I gotta do taxes next weekend. Oh, you talking about up to DC? No. No, I kind of gave up on doing that. Work is not making my life to the point where I can actually do that kind of thing anymore. And I know there's a lot of people that are upset about that, but there's not much I can do about it. It isn't that it's unaffordable; it's that I can't take the time off. If I take one day off, it takes 3 days to recover, and then I have the CEO of the company after me because I'm 3 days behind. I've literally got 4 weeks of vacation time. I can't take any of it. I'm going to have to let a week of it expire because I can't sell the 2 weeks. I have 6 weeks too. I've got all but 4 hours. Can't use that either. Yeah, Boo's got roughly the same problem. The thing is that they finally started realizing that they can't treat people like that and not pay them for it. So they're actually starting to pay people for it now. So people are actually reconsidering and actually staying, some of them, but most of them are still leaving. I've been trying to find something else. But engineering is engineering. It's not exactly an easy field to work in. Starting to hit the, that's correct. I'm a full-time mechanical, electrical engineer, as well as a development programming. And I've been working at the same place for more than 20 years. Want to work for Columbia Gas? You mean South Carolina? I don't think they're going to pay. I've already had a couple of places tell me they can't afford it. This may be actually a dirty tactic by my company. They'll pay so much that nobody else will match it. And then treat us like crap. It's fine. A lot of them are in Richmond. Oh, okay. I'd go talk to some of the places that make the components for our company that our company uses. But most of them aren't hiring right now to get rid of people. And the reason they're getting rid of people is because they don't want remote workers anymore. Which is exactly what I want. Hey Dio, welcome in. Hello. Columbia Gas. Oh, okay. Gotcha. If anything, I would prefer to just reduce it down to where I'm just designing the machinery and getting rid of all the rest of it. I like doing that. All right, well, welcome in. Hello, hello. I am doing a series today, just today, of recipes which were featured, some of them were featured on the local cooking show about, let's see, I think the first two of these were in 1981. It was a local cooking show which went national. And I've done one episode here of some of the recipes, but I was looking at some of them that they had, and the funny thing about it was that a lot of it looks like I had almost all of it here at the house already. Let me turn this music down just a little. Music's on a little bit on the loud side. So, as a result, I'm going to try to replicate a few of them from 40 years ago. We're going to see how they taste. So the first one today is going to be a red beans and rice recipe, which came from a little further south from here, but still in this state. Yeah. And it's a red beans and rice recipe. But this red beans and rice recipe had a lot to be desired for it, so I'm going to be adding to it a little bit. For this one, we're going to be using light red and dark red kidney beans. I'm going to use both of these. They actually used a large can of just red kidney beans for that particular one that they made. But I prefer to actually mix it in and mix it up a little bit. I also don't have those giant cans. I'm going to add an onion to it, which they didn't do. I'm adding some garlic to it as well. Not much, just probably that one. And we're going to use up some of our frozen peppers that we had in the freezer for it as well. I've got some relatively fresh green ones here, which we used just a couple weeks ago. I'll pop them out of here, and they've still got a pretty strong smell to them, but I need to use them before they start getting freezer burned and all. And we've also got some other colors here as well if we need them. I've got this yellow one here from last week, so we'll use them. For this one, we're also going to use some of our standard rice here. I'm going to use white basmati rice for this one. It's got a little bit of an aroma to it, but not a whole lot. And it's still basically white rice. It's shorter grain. I also replaced our broken plastic cups. I'm going to make 2 cups of rice in our rice cooker. One full cup. About a half cup. And we're also going to add some long grain wild rice to it. I use this sparingly because it's expensive. Hey Melina, welcome in. How are you doing? So we're going to use some of this Royal Blend wild rice as part of this. So that's quite a bit of rice. So this recipe is all vegetarian this time. So we're going to try to keep it veggie. We're going to use our frozen peppers. I'm trying to remember what else was involved with this one. I think there was some hot sauce and some Cajun seasoning as well. Grab that. I'm trying to do this one out of memory. So many variations on rice, yeah. I'm gonna make this one a little bit spicier here. We're gonna use roughly about a half a teaspoon of the Cajun seasoning. And a little bit this will go in afterwards, but we're going to add a little bit of hot sauce to this too. The old Louisiana, Texas Pete. Nothing too spicy. Probably about a tablespoon, a little more than a tablespoon there. I've been working on a few recipes from the Middle East recently, and we were short on some of the main ingredients, and I just had to skip them. But I went and found a few of them, so I'll probably schedule up some more Middle Eastern recipes sometime soon here. This wasn't too much either; they were about $3 or $4. So we got a little garlic, we got a little onion, we got some green peppers. We're going to use probably about a third of that, and we've got some colored peppers as well. We'll use this yellow one too, and we've got dark red, light red kidney beans, and I think that was almost it. I'm going to add a little cayenne. While it's cooking. Quarter teaspoon there. Here. We'll get a picture of this, post it to Discord, and I was trying to remember the whole recipe. Just a forewarning, I am having a migraine right now, so I may sound incoherent here and there. Can't help it sometimes. But we gotta cook. Let's do this. So we're gonna start off by getting our rice going. I'm going to rinse this a little bit first, and I'm gonna drop it into our rice cooker, and we'll get this started. So give me just a minute. Rinsing it first so that it doesn't get all starchy when we're mixing it into the beans and all. Putting a little bit more water in it than it's called for. Should help it steam out and be a little bit more tender. Let's get that started. All right, that's going. So next up, let's get the rest of our ingredients going here. Now, in the original recipe, they were taking the entire cans of the beans and they were keeping all of the juice in them. This, I'm going to get Tom's. Okay. I am not going to do that. I am going to rinse these off because these have got a lot of preservatives and salt on them. What I will do is I will add a little bit of salt to it when I'm cooking it, but I'm not going to use the amount that's in this can. So we're going to rinse these off first. I'm definitely going to be going a little bit slow today. our first one. What they're putting in these cans is some kind of oil and salt. I really don't know. But I don't like it. If I'm going to add fat to it, I'll add fat. About the circus fire, was it intense? Yeah. You can only run in a campground because after all it's running past tents. The only other joke I can think of is a dirty one, so I'm telling you. Oh, shoot. I didn't know we had an ad break. Shoot, I didn't know there was an ad break going on. I can't see them when I'm over here cooking. All right. And then after the fact, this is going in with it. We're going to use some of our frozen peppers here. I'm just going to cut these into chunks. These are ones that we froze ourselves. They're not any kind of bagged ones. There's that. We'll use a couple of these for color. We don't need a whole lot of them. It was only supposed to be about one whole pepper. And that's getting close to a whole pepper right there. But I like to use them. We're going to use a little bit of them in the next recipe too. That's why one of the reasons why I targeted these today. These were listed as strange viewer recipes. What's up? Our onion and garlic. Pretty much won't be right about. Cut off the big end, the root end. Hey Wheelie, welcome in. Hello, how are you doing? Pops right off. We will slice it and then chop it up. feel like I'm forgetting something. That was just one garlic, one clove. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. Oh, we got a dirty onion, okay. This is from the bag that we bought. Definitely got a bad spot. How far it is, I don't know. We are currently caught up on our recipes as far as I know. So if anybody wants to try any of them, they're there. Also, whoever that other user is that tried to come in to the Discord, if you don't mind, I'd like you to answer the question I sent you before I let you in. We're a little suspicious. We need to know you're not a bot. Nice. You don't think they'd put all the old onions into the bags so that they force you to buy the old ones that are potentially going bad and only leave the newer ones sitting out on the shelf, do you? No, that would be a shady practice. That would be very, very shady. This onion it's probably is more than enough onion anyway. The recipe didn't originally call for it. We're going to cook them down until they're nice and soft and starting to brown a little. Also, I'm in the middle. If anybody's interested, I'm in the middle of I'm starting a new project, and that is one of the show an old cat kind of things. I am in the process of pulling every single one of the cooking videos that I have available to me and putting them on YouTube. So I will probably be getting a YouTube channel up and running here soon. It's not done yet. I'm still uploading, but I'm working on it. It takes a little while. Leaving sloppy seconds in bags. Oh, I know, right? I mean, I don't know. I consider it a win if I get all but one of them out of the bag, you know? I bought a 5-pound bag knowing that I was going to need them. But I assumed that they were about the same as the ones on the shelf. Apparently they're not. They're also all a lot smaller. I am going to drop some of this yellow in here too. as I had mentioned before, just grab it and rip it. Don't be afraid. Works just fine. Makes me wonder about the peppers they're putting in the bags too. These seem relatively fresh. Save this one for the other one. The other recipe doesn't use a lot of pepper. All right, so now we've got our peppers, our onions, our garlic, our basic seasoning here, and our beans, and we're about ready to get going. Our rice is in cooking. It isn't quite up to temperature yet, but it is steaming already. So hopefully that will be done soon. We're going to mix it in with the rest of this. So let's go ahead and get you all over to the stove. Wow, got it almost right on the first try. That's looking pretty good. We're going to start off by setting this down to about a 5, 5.5. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil here. This one's freshly washed, so we're going to sizzle out all that water that's in there first. Then we will get our peppers and onions. Followed by our garlic, because our garlic will cook faster. Then our beans and our pepper. Now you can add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper to it while we're working on it. That's always a in-process kind of thing. Now that I'm thinking about this, I'm also going to add some oregano. About a half teaspoon. You might add a little more if we're going. Cave method for garlic, yeah. Yeah, and she's the reason that I think about that. Oops, I forgot to empty the water out of the little catcher. Ooh. Alright, we are using the heavy pot for this. I'm going to try to use it for both recipes. This first one should be a very clean recipe. Nothing major and sticky. This is a really easy one. You can do it anytime. And I never really figured out what they thought was strange about it. I know they thought the other one I was looking at was strange because it had Mexicorn in it. Which actually is this one. I just remembered this one's supposed to have corn in it. I'm gonna go. I guess I'm going off recipe for this one. I just went and got a can of corn too. There we go. Get all that water boiled out of there. So what they used to call Mexicorn, I don't know if it still exists or not, but what they used to call it, all it was sweet corn with some peppers in the can. That's it. We've already got fresh peppers here. I know Root makes me wonder if she cooks for show and survives on takeout or whatever the UK version of Stouffer's is. Oh, you still see it occasionally? You mean the cans of the Mexicorn? Yeah. I figured it might be around, but it might not. Do be careful if you're letting it pop like that because it will splatter on you. I'll let it finish popping out before I put anything in there. Our rice is down to about 8 minutes before it's finished, so we should be good to go here. Come to think of it, I think I just throw it into there. It's gonna get wet anyway. Boom. We'll start off by getting our onions going here. I'd assume that they have the Stouffer's in the UK as well. Alright, let's get our peppers now. See, that's already looking pretty colorful. Stouffer's Ginger Snaps cookies. No, he's talking about the microwave dinners. They used to make lots and lots and lots of microwave dinners and TV dinners back in the day with the aluminum trays that you had to put into the oven before they had microwaves. They were very big here for a long time. Yeah, this is what I thought was going to happen. It's getting a little steamy because there's a lot of ice in those green peppers. Once they start softening up here, then it'll dry out a little. That's why I didn't just dump the garlic in there, because we don't want another incident of the, as Hanya mentioned, of the blackened garlic. Onions. Ooh. I was initially a little bit skeptical, but after having used it a few times, honestly, the $35-40 rice cooker is definitely worth the money. I'm gonna put a little bit more oil in here, just a little. I am using olive oil for this, extra virgin olive oil, not anything real heavy. You can use vegetable oil if you wish, whatever's best. Saute oil. I've got saffron oil as well, or not saffron, sunflower. You gotta cook out some of this moisture. I'll never go back to cooking rice on the stovetop. You got the super expensive one. Not really got much of that during the 80s. Once the Singleton age came in 2000, ready meals have been a big thing, but most supermarkets run their own brands. It's like the Pox 13 on take your pick with the ready to eat meals. Could be something fantastic, could be something tragic. Yeah, I can see that. I've tried some of the lean cuisines and things like that, and those were literally the reason that I decided to start cooking for myself, because I'm sorry, they're just absolutely awful. They taste like someone just scraped it off the road. Ugh. No, thank you. All right, it's starting to dry out a little bit from all that excess moisture. Probably good time to add the garlic now. Get that mixed in, and we'll start bringing in our beans. rice is beat. We'll let it sit for a minute or two, let it soak up a little more. That wild rice takes a little longer to cook anyway. There we go, that's looking pretty nice. Let's start a club, we can be the super sushi. I'm me over here with my aroma. We'll fluff it up a little bit. Oh, that's looking about perfect. Jindal, hello, welcome in. Hello, Raiders, how are you all doing? And for being subscribed for 37 months. See, I mentioned that earlier. I've been here that long now. Thank you so much, Jindal. It's so great to see you all. Time for lunch. Late lunch? Yeah, I'm working on it. We're about halfway through already. At least the first one. This is our bean and beans, onion, garlic, and pepper mix, and I'm about to add in the seasoning here. We're going to have to really adjust this one accordingly. I've got a little Cajun pepper in here and a little cayenne. We've got a little bit of salt and pepper as well. I'm about to mix in all this rice. Oh, that smells nice. I don't think, however, that's enough. I've also got to mix in some of our corn here. About half the can. That's about all you need. Yeah, I definitely think it needs a little bit more of the spices. I can tell just by looking at it. That's better. I don't remember eating any corn. All right, let's grab our rice. Okay, I cannot do like that. Can't grab it with my fingers. I haven't been burned enough. Here we go. Straight out of the rice cooker. Mix that right on in. Really easy one pot red beans and rice recipe. That took a little less than an hour. Went the hard way. I'm gonna get the big spoon. That looks great. I'll be eating this one all week. Now our next one today is also a very local recipe from roughly the same time period. Early 80s. I am definitely modifying it. What we get will be interesting. I also might have forgotten something. But that's okay because it was a part 2 anyway. What kind of pot is that? That is a black iron Dutch oven. It's actually just a Chinese style one. It's not an expensive lodge. It is a lodge, but it's not an expensive old one. I got it a couple years ago. All right, I got to do one more thing to this real quick, and I will be right back in just a second. I completely forgot that I was supposed to be adding some andouille sausage to that. I told you today, the brain is not working right. I'm having to kind of work with it. And I didn't get the other board out. Well, there we go. All right, just a second. Those lodge pots are available at Wally World. They're about $40, I think. It's relatively thick for a thin pot. It works quite well as a Dutch oven. I've used it for so many recipes here. I was supposed to cook this first and then mix it in after it was done. But I don't think it makes any difference when you do it, just that you do it. We add the nice spicy Cajun sausage. If you're out there and ever met, this is exactly what I was telling you yesterday. So we're just going to cook these until they're done, and then we'll add them in. No big deal. Okay, second recipe today. I don't know how many of you all remember, but used to be back in the day, whenever we went to buffets or any other place that served macaroni and cheese, that macaroni and cheese is a little different than it is done these days. It was always more of a thicker kind of macaroni and cheese. It had they cut it in squares and serve it to you. I figured out how to do that and how it was done. So we're going to try that. I'm going to start off by getting some water boiling while we're getting that done. You want to get these nice and brown so they're puffing up just a little bit. Ringoing bird. That is andouille sausage. It's Cajun. To match with our Cajun flavoring. Gumbo. Nope, but it's close. Here we just called it red beans and rice. A lot of places probably call it jambalaya in some cases. I'm just adding it to the final product here. We have both red beans and rice and jambalaya, yeah. Earlier when I was trying to go to the grocery store, I had this brain fart going on. Couldn't remember half of anything I was trying to do. So I ended up getting some stuff for the wrong recipe. Now we're just going to do it. setting up for the second one right now. This one has a little bit of a bake time in the oven. That's about done. All right, now we've got that. I'm just gonna drizzle it with some hot sauce. Just deglazing the pan real quick. We need it for the next one as well. All right, let's bring this one over here. We'll have to let that sit for a couple minutes. So we'll switch back over here. 3 minutes? Holy hell. 3 minutes though? I'm only getting 30 seconds before. I'd rather run a 30-second ad every hour than do that. Holy crap. No, it was only 30 seconds every hour. No, they didn't. But the pre-rolls weren't but a minute anyway. That's all right. Hey, Pie Toast. Walmart, yeah, I know. I know. We'll see. Okay, for our second one, this is going to be the old school macaroni and cheese that you used to get years ago. This is not what we get today. Today we get the stuff with a lot of melty cheese and everything else in it. If you get a raid and it doesn't force them. I know. So what we're going to do is we are going to do something a little bit different. We're going to use some whipping cream, or you can use condensed milk, butter, 1 egg, and our cheese and our macaroni. Now we are heating up the water right now for the macaroni. This is pretty much it, but the difference is that the way this is made, with that whipping cream and the egg in it, it makes it more of a, what do you call it? It's more like a quiche kind of thing, but this is how they used to do it. So years and years and years ago, when we used to go out and have stuff at restaurants and all, they would bring you like a square cut of macaroni and cheese. This is how you do it. I didn't originally plan on making this, but somehow or another I ended up buying the recipe ingredients for it, so that's what we're doing. While this is in boiling, we'll start on the next one, which is kind of a interesting one. All right, let me get a picture of that. We will get it started. All right. This is also relatively easy, but I don't know whether everybody's going to really want to do that, but we'll see. All right, our water is boiling, so I'm going to go ahead and drop this in. This is going to take a little while to cook. In the meantime, we're going to get our dish ready and our liquid ingredients as well as our cheese shredded. Would suggest getting the blocks of cheese instead of getting the pre-shredded for a lot of things, because it is a lot more cheese than you think and it's less expensive. I love how they did it on the show that I was checking out for it. They were just basically they cut it back a little bit and then just rolled it backwards like this, and that was it. We don't need little cuts for this. We're gonna put this straight in. I am going to use this whole 8-ounce block. I am seriously eyeballing this one, so we'll see how it comes out. Hey Darius, hello, welcome in. Oh Darius, you'd remember. You remember years ago when you used to get macaroni and cheese outside and it always came in like a cube? It was always kind of jello-y sort of, but not exactly. Remember that old stuff? That's what I'm doing right now. I found out what they did with it, and it was basically trying to make it into what you might consider to be a quiche. So we're just shredding the cheese for it right now. We're using real cheese for this. So the first recipe, since you just came in, and welcome in by the way, the first recipe since you came in was a more of a jambalaya, but it was a red beans and rice recipe. This one we just finished a few minutes ago. We got some nice spicy sausage, and we've got beans and everything else. This one's really nice. Should be nice and spicy, but not too spicy, and it'll have a lot of flavor to it. We've got red bell pepper, green bell pepper, yellow bell pepper. It sort of is, sort of. Not exactly, but this is how they used to do it. This was the 80s model, if you want to call it that. You doing? Welcome in, Volk as well. Now, the first half of this is getting it boiled. Once it's actually cooked, we're going to take our baking dish here. I've got one of mine here that she used to actually use for making this. We're going to grease this up with some butter. We're going to use real butter for this. We're going to mix it in with our macaroni as well. But we also need to do this, and this part of it is the questionable part. So many bowls. I am not 100% in for this one, but we're going to give it a shot. So we're going to put one egg in here. And some heavy whipping cream. And I'm going to add a little bit of water to that. I am totally eyeballing this. In the original one, they used condensed milk, but I didn't have any. I think we're going to need a little more, because we need to actually fill most of this dish up. But we'll see. I'm perfectly fine with using up all of that whipping cream. So we're going to take our butter here. Just drop some of it down here in our dish. And grab a paper towel and kind of mash it around. Yeah, the music's running. At least it's supposed to be. It might have paused on its own. Hold on. Yeah, it did. I hate it when they do that. They just pause it on their own and then ask you if you want to keep going. We're just going to take our butter here. And I'm going to soften it up a little bit. It's not quite warm yet. Oh, my goodness. For everybody that's coming in, I'm having a little bit of a brain gremlin problem today. What that means is I've got a fighting a migraine. And it's kind of messing with me a little bit. There we go. That's fairly soft now. Just gonna coat it. It'll start cooling off and solidifying on its own here in a second. We're just gonna get it nice and well coated in here because we don't want it sticking. We'll be ready here in just a minute. We have one more recipe today, and then I wanted to try something for fun. I watched somebody make a crab rangoon pizza. No, I'm not making the pizza. Give me cheese. You can see how it's sort of foamed up a little bit from whipping it. Wow, this macaroni really does take a little while to cook. They weren't kidding. So our last recipe for today, once we get this one in place, our last recipe today is kind of I don't like using the phrase because everybody's got kind of like a negative connotation to it, but it's more or less a cheeseburger casserole, but I am not going to make it the way that they used to do it. A lot of those old school ones were just, ugh, they were nasty. I'm not making that androgynous yellow junk that has macaroni in it and calling it cheeseburger. So we're going to let that macaroni cook for a minute and just take a break. softening up some cream cheese here as well. So we're letting that soften up. These packages are not made out of foil anymore. They're made out of plastic. I literally just did that. Thank you, Gugu. Starting to float. I'll do it again. There you go. So for the last one, when we start on that one here in a minute, what we're gonna do is we're gonna fry up some very lean beef. Back in the day, they didn't really have that much that was very lean. It was mostly 85-15. But we've got lean beef. We're gonna add a little bit of cumin seed, a couple other things. Then I'm gonna add blue cheese into it. Oh, the foil. Okay, yeah, it's plastic. It ripped. It didn't unfold like it was supposed to. Anyway, we're gonna add some blue cheese to it as kind of a binder, which probably won't melt very much. Instead of covering it in plastic cheese, which is what they used to do. And instead of covering it, and I originally was going to do it this way, but instead of covering it with biscuits, I actually went and got some buns thinking I could make it into a sandwich a little better. I've got some tomatoes to go with it too. We're improving that recipe. I'm not doing it the old way. That's just awful. I found some of this. They actually still make this. It took me a while to find it, but they actually still make burger seasoning. So I thought I'd try and use it. We are going to put some onion in there too. The other recipe didn't have it. It was basically just hamburger, tomato sauce, a little bit of salt and pepper, and that was it. And then fill it full of plastic cheese. That's just not right. I'm not doing that. Oh, come on, Braden. I always wonder why people call something seasoning. Yeah, that's a good question because I don't like using those pre-made things like that. I've looked at some of them. Everything but the bagel seasoning. I've looked at a few of those things, and a few of them are legitimate, but there's not a whole lot of them that really are. You want to talk about gravy granules and things like that? Oh, that stuff's just not right. It's awful. It's just all salt. Like one of the ones that I consider to be legitimate is this one. This is kind of a yellowish one. I don't know if you can really see it. But it's listed as an all-purpose seasoning. It's got, let's see, garlic, paprika, a couple of bits of corn, and a few other things. It's one that's used in South America and in the Philippines. And I've used it for a few different things, and really it has a lot of, it really does have a lot of flavor to it. Sazon is good. That is a good one. The other one I would say it's really legitimate is this one. Of course, you can't tell what this is, but I made this myself about a month ago. This is Chinese 5-spice. Usually pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, cayenne, and paprika. Yeah, that's basically what it is. But this is Chinese 5-spice, and I've got a little bit of red peppercorn in here. So this is a really good one too. I also still have some of this one, which I made a couple of months ago. This one is a legitimate one, but they don't sell this anywhere. This one is the, this is that meat seasoning that they made over in Africa. I forget what it was called, but it's got a very cinnamon flavor to it. Let me check on our macaroni here. It should be about done. Another minute or two, and then we'll be ready to go for this one. Whether this actually sets up or not, I don't know. We'll see. I am using heavy cream as a substitute. But here again, I think the last time I made a quiche type recipe like this, it was using heavy cream, so. You say that, but isn't that Jindal, that's Tony Chaudhary. That's this one. You literally just described it. I think I'm right. Hold on, let me check. Salt, red pepper, black pepper, chili powder, garlic, and onion. Yeah, that's what it is. Those are the basic spices? Yeah. Yep, that mix? Yeah, I thought so. You tried to sneak that one past me. That's why if you're running low on funds and you don't want to buy a whole lot of different stuff to mix it, you can just buy that can. And it's got pretty much the right mix in it for all that stuff. Theo, you're never going to win that. You're not. Everyone will pile on. You know they will. All right, let's go pop up more. I think we're good. Let me drain it out. Whether I have enough or not, we'll find out here in a minute. We want it to be nice and drained, fully drained. All right, so here's our macaroni. We're going to put ourselves down about half of it in the first layer here. I didn't intend to make a whole lot of this. That's why there's not a lot in here. I can't really eat it. All right, come on, even out, even out. I'll throw a little bit of butter in there. We'll just let that melt in there with our cheese. Add us a nice thick layer of mild cheddar. There we go. We'll put the rest of this on there. See, this isn't a whole lot. This is about 1.5 cups. Shave a little bit of butter in there.
again. You can see why I can't eat this. I'm just barely shaving this butter. It's very, very thin. It's all the butter. This is why I was using the smaller brick of cheese instead of the bigger ones. Because this is pretty much going to disappear. And then we are just going to pour this mixture right on in there. It looks like we need a little more. We need enough to actually fill it up. That's fine. We can whip it right up. This was also the reason that this stuff was also very rich. Oh, I think we got it. We got it about right. Now we're going to throw this in the oven at about 400. Let it heat up and we'll get started on the next one. This needs to cook for about 20 minutes, I want to say, but it may be a little bit longer. Okay. Now our next one is our big one. So let me move this out of the way and try. I'll find a lid in a minute. Now our next one is our hamburger one. This one is supposed to be a hamburger casserole kind of thing. I will use a little bit of the seasoning. I did at least find one that was salt-free. I've got the 1 pound very lean beef. I'm also going off script on this one, and we're going to put some bacon. Get tomato sauce as well. We're adding garlic and an onion to this mix. And our peppers as well. Now, in the original recipe for this, they covered this in biscuits, and I had actually considered doing that. And I also actually have a can of croissant rolls to do the same thing, but I changed my mind. While I was working on it this morning. Oh yes. We do not use plastic cheese here. We do not do that. I will not do that. You can use whatever you like. Whatever kind of cheese you want. I'm, however, mixing in the good stuff. Also intend to try and do something a little different with this one. And kind of try and see if we can make a sandwich out of it. Am I forgetting something? Probably. Let's see. We need some seasoning for this. That's about a quarter teaspoon or so. For this much beef, that's about right. Of pepper. I'm going to use about a quarter teaspoon of salt as well. That was everything I added to it. Of course, I've changed it a little bit. I've added the bacon and the blue cheese. I'm, however, going to add a little more to this. We're going to add a little bit of cumin. A little over a quarter teaspoon. I'm also going to add about a quarter teaspoon of the actual seeds for it as well. Also adding a little bit of Italian seasoning too. How's that looking? Pretty good? That should have a lot more flavor to it. So let's get started with this as soon as our oven pops up here. Alright. Oh, let me get a picture. I have one more today if we have time. Bacon. Yeah. The Brits don't seem to think that this is bacon. They don't like it. They call it streaky bacon, I believe. I got a lecture on it the other day. You're like, you Americans don't know how to make bacon. From the looks of it, I kind of agree with them because theirs looks better. Clean these. I'm just cleaning up just a little bit here before I get started. Don't want to get stuff messed up here. Okay. Do not need the rice cooker again. Set that aside and let it dry out. No. Okay. Oh, come on, brain. Come on. I'm still having some issues. We're trying here. I am going to mix that stuff into the meat first, after we get our veggies cut. Before we start cooking it. Although it shouldn't make too much difference. Let me pull these aside. The things that are already done, we're just going to pull them out, set them aside. Aquos! Pork belly is bacon? Yeah. How we doing, Aquos? Welcome in. Alright. I'm going to pop this open and drop it into the bowl over here. You want food? Well, you know where it is. There's our hamburger. This is relatively fresh too. It's good stuff. Cook the bacon separately. I've got to make some breakfast food too. I'm not getting into this cafeteria situation again. We don't have access to it for the most part. Alright, let me get the other bowl here. We're going to cook up our veggies first, so we'll have to slice those up. Went and got that. I didn't need it. Needed this one. This is the one we used the garlic for before. How you doing today, Aquos? Other than you want food. Everything good? Y'all are always so busy. I never can keep up with you. I try though. I don't know what I'm doing here. The brain gremlins are still working on me. We gotta start doing the stream revisions soon. I meant to do it last week. But at the same time, I gotta take care of taxes and other things too. Because that time's coming up. Alright, so there's our garlic. Keep that separate. We don't want to burn it. Boy, this one's got a thick skin on it. We don't want a ton of onion for this one either. That'll be good. Ooh, this one's strong. Ah. You'd think I'd be used to it by now. Alright, there's our onions. We're going to cook those until they're a little soft. Not very soft, but just a little. Then we'll add our peppers to it. So we got to do our peppers next. How can that oven still be heating? Putting it in. I'm just gonna have to kind of keep an eye on it. There's our seasoning for our meat. I'm also throwing some of the cheese in. We'll mix that in a minute. We need a bowl. We're not going to use a lot of peppers for this one. We're going to use some. Some of our frozen ones from the week before. I'd prefer not to use the frozen ones, but we can't waste them, so. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I also can't leave these out too much longer because they're starting to thaw. This ought to do it. Leave these back in the freezer. Okay. Next up, okay. Next up is our meat here. We're going to get this. Gonna just sort of mix this in. We want to kind of thoroughly get it in there. It'll cook its way in. We don't have to mix it too much because, again, we're going to end up basically kind of stir frying it per se. But there we go. Get the spice in the end. Alright, we're going to do this in our Dutch oven too, so I've already deglazed it and washed it out real quick. So I think we're about ready to start on it. At the same time, I've got to cook bacon, but we'll just have to do that after the fact because I don't have two big burners. So let's switch over, shall we? All right, we're back here. We're going to start just like before with our onions and our peppers. Then our garlic. And we'll start stirring in our hamburger about the same time. So we're going to set this up about a medium to a little bit more. Get down our tablespoon or so, or a little more than a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm just trying to watch a couple things real quick here. It's going to take a minute for that to heat back up. Need more protein. Skinny Aqua says you're right, he needs a little bit. We love you, Aqua. Okay. That gets most of that stuff out of my way. And our oil should be getting hot by now. Oh. Let's see how this sandwich monstrosity turns out. I have one more idea today I want to try, but we'll see. Is it pausing the music again? Yes, why does it keep doing that? Okay. Yes, I just grabbed a foil out of the oven at 400 degrees. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm close. The tube no longer have fingerprints. Wow. Let those fry for a minute. Now we'll add our color. Let that cook for a couple minutes. Block of feta today because the store had it on sale for 50% off. So we're going to throw that in the freezer and use it later. And it wasn't just the crumbled feta, it was a big old block of it. Solid block. think maybe I will skip the other recipe here. I don't know that we have time for that. It also doesn't really fit with what we're doing. Alright, we gotta do the same thing again because this was a little wet. Gotta let it dry out a little. Remember that our seasoning is in with our meat this time. Too many dishes this time. That's not bad. I'm not going to use this whole thing of meat seasoning. I want to taste it a little bit first. That has almost no taste at all. Oh well, we'll use it. Here's our garlic. In goes the big old thing of burger. And seasoning. I feel like I'm making tomato sauce instead. I think we're going to add just a touch more oil here. I'm not using the rest of that. Well, there's getting to be a little bit of an odor there. Not sure what that is yet. It smells like tomato. Takes a little bit of work, but you can see that it's working its way in now. Hey, Calico Rocky, welcome in, and thank you for the follow as well. Now, in the meantime, over here on the side, I'm going to work on this bacon as well. Whether we can get it in here in the shot or not, I don't know. I'm going to try to do it with the small burner, but we'll see. I know for those of you in the UK, this is not bacon, but it's all I have. I have to get too many choices. An AFK to build something, it was rated in. Oh, okay. Well, welcome in anyway. What I missed? What are we making? Okay, right at the moment, we're working on a revised version of a 40-year-old recipe. Which I'm doing for what used to be called a casserole, a cheeseburger casserole. We're not doing that. I'm turning it more into kind of a sandwich thing. All these wet ingredients stick at the bottom. We've already made basically a jambalaya, which is red beans and rice with andouille sausage. It should be a little bit on the spicy side. That one's sitting over on the table right now. Right. This is where I'm kind of questioning this, but we'll do it. I'm adding a small can of tomato sauce to this. Very small. We'll let this cook for a couple more minutes. Let it get a little bit more of that moisture out of there. Then we'll add a little bit more cheese on the top and we'll put it in the oven and let it bake for a little bit. But I'm also trying to get the bacon done at the same time. I've been known for having a few recipes that weren't as they normally are. Yeah. we are modifying stuff. These recipes, some of these recipes are from 1981. They were local favorites that were used here in this area where I live. There was a nationally syndicated cooking show at the time. I'm not going to name it because it'll give me away. But that show was on for like 26 years. And they did a lot of different recipes, which are basically local. And I'm borrowing from it, making changes. One of these days, we may make one of them, one of the original ones. There's a recipe involving the use of Velveeta to make fudge. That's right. Ultra fake cheese for making fudge. 1930s? Wouldn't be too surprised. It might even be in there, who knows. Let's not forget that in the 40s and 50s and 60s that Jell-O used to make Jell-O that was made out of other things. That actually doesn't look too bad for sloppy mix. So I'm gonna swap them. We'll let some of the fat cook out of that to grease it. Recipe that included mashed potatoes to make fudge. Low-key kind of fantastic, really. Well, like I said, I'm willing to try a few of them. I've got there. I actually have the cooking manual, as they call it, from the show that was on for 27 years or whatever. I vaguely remember when it was on TV. It's been a while. Yeah. Hey. You'd think with bacon with this much fat on it that it would boil up pretty quick. No, it doesn't want to cooperate. It's a recipe that includes, yeah. Share the recipe with you sometime. Yeah, you're welcome to do so. We do have a Discord as well. You're welcome to share everything you like in there. I also post all of our recipes there if you want to get any of these. I've done about 200 now, so there's plenty. Some cheesecake with passion fruit jelly on top. Oh, that sounds nice. I've actually made a cheesecake here before, but not the traditional one. I've made the Japanese style here. It was very bouncy. It worked out pretty well. So much sugar, but it didn't even taste like it had all that sugar. That was the bad part. We're not going to cook that anymore. I'm going to try to drain this bacon. It is going to go in, some of it is going to go in the oven, so you don't want it to get too done. There we go. You want a Cuban style cheesecake learned from the neighbor. Oh, sounds interesting. I don't actually do desserts here very often, but I'm willing to do a few here and there. There's the reason I'm using low sodium bacon. Not allowed to have anything else. Oh, looks like it's done. Our 80s style mac and cheese is starting to brown a little bit. See there. I think we got it just in time. I almost forgot. Like I haven't done that 5 or 6 times here. Brought Christmas dinner. Final course, turkey, pork, Greek rice. I like doing Greek, especially the lemon rice. With all the dill. I am going to cook the whole bacon, all of it, the whole package. don't know. What's the weirdest recipe you've done that you had no hope for at all? Weirdest. I tried to make a moussaka. That thing took 5 hours. I did not have a lot of hope for that one. That Greek moussaka took forever. We actually did it here on the show too. I even tried to cook a turkey on here one time. That one took a while. Had to turn it into a two-parter. So, doing this cooking show is kind of a side deal for me. I'm primarily not actually a chef, of course. I was explaining to everybody else earlier that I'm actually an engineer. I just happen to learn how to do this. And I did it out of self-defense because, as I said, I started having issues. Not only weight like a lot of people, but also high blood pressure. So that made it time to cook. Ah. Yeah, I think I'd rather deal with a minute worth of pre-rolls than 3 minutes worth of ads every hour. I'm just gonna consider changing that back. Ah, come on. Ugh, finally. No, I understand, and that's why I do say that. Anybody that's willing to take the time to learn to do things for themselves and do it right, you're welcome. I don't believe it to be a sin to say that. But no, I think I'm going to change these ads back to the way they were. I think everybody would prefer 2 or 3 20-second ads at the beginning than having 3 minutes every hour just to stop a pre-roll. Can't make an amazing meal out of things, seafood in particular, but yeah, experimentation. That's a lot of it is just that. You got to figure out what works for you, what flavors are good, and what ones aren't. There are certain recipes that have never worked for me. Just a second. Recipes involving the use of cooking orange juice are awful. I cannot do them. They do not ever taste right. They never come out right. I don't like them. That's one example for me, at least. I am keeping the oven on. I'm going to put some of this bacon on top of that big pot right there. Of our now somewhat solidified mix. I am totally dropping some of this on here. That's not right. Now, in the original recipe, for the casserole here, ow! Stop it. The recipe calls for me to put a bunch of plastic cheese on there now. We're not doing that. I absolutely refuse to use plastic cheese. That is not cheese. It also calls for us to put biscuits all over it or croissant dough. Not going to do that either because we're going to turn these into sandwiches. So I'm going to put this in the oven for a few minutes. Try and melt that cheese just a little bit while we're waiting on the rest of the bacon here. I once made mac and cheese taco casserole. That's not too far off for what I just put in the oven. Okay, the stove's starting to do its thing again, where it starts heating up more. than it's supposed to. That is the last of the bacon. My experiment for the day actually is not going to be done on stream today. We don't have a lot of time. But I am going to try to make some crab rangoon. Surprisingly good. Yeah. This macaroni and cheese right here is the 80s style. It's got eggs and milk in it. Well, not milk, but condensed cream in this case. This is the stuff that you used to get when you'd slice it down the middle and get a big old square of it. I love these old stainless steel pans. These things are probably 25 years old now. I could sit and scrub them with steel wool until hell freezes over and it'll be fine. We'll be down here in a few minutes. Ooh, that no salt bacon really is no salt. Wow. All right, while we're finishing that bacon, I'll come back over here. So here's where we are right now. Did that, but added some leftover taco meat, lettuce, tomato, onion, then big square chopped up sour cream. Yeah, and you know, one thing I've done here, have you ever had taco birria? With the ultra spicy dark red pepper sauce. Pizza with it. I was surprised this came out the way that it did. This has got 2 eggs in it and heavy cream, and it actually looks right. I was guessing. As you can imagine, as it's been for several months here, since the interest rate has gone through the roof and prices on food have gone through the roof, I've been trying to make stuff that was less expensive. As you can imagine, this is not a lot, and this is plenty for 1 or even 2 people for at least 3 or 4 days. 1 person for almost a week. Do it right. ticket on this is probably somewhere around $45, $50, which is not bad at all. You got 2 cups of rice, you got a couple of cans of beans, you've got 1 or 2 bell peppers over here, and 1 package of andouille sausage and a little bit of spices. Over here you've got about a quarter of a box, a 2-pound box of macaroni here, 1 small block of cheese, a little bit of cream, and a little bit of butter. And this other one I'm making a little differently. I just couldn't bring myself to make that casserole the way that it was. It's just not that good. I know it won't be good. Meanwhile, I've also got enough bacon over here to make several breakfasts. Find that jambalaya recipe? Yeah. I've also made gumbo here a couple of times and done it from scratch, all the way from the very beginning. Making the roux with flour and butter. We've done that a couple of times. I think I'm going to make that a yearly one. We're coming up on 3 hours here, so I don't want to push it too far. All right. Old uneven stove. The stove's probably 40 years old. It has a tendency to not work right. Hot, 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 hot. Yep, it melted a little bit. We'll call it good. I'm interested to taste this. Blue and bacon. Cheeseburger casserole. Guys, just turned into blue and bacon sloppy joes. Love to try and make gumbo, can't though. Terrible with seafood. I didn't make it with seafood. I made it with shredded chicken and andouille sausage. No seafood. You don't have to use seafood. Oh my goodness, look what we've got here. So we've got basically our sausage and red beans and rice mixture here, which became jambalaya. We've got our still very hot baking dish full of we'll call it macaroni and cheese quiche, which is really what it is. And then we've also got some bacon and blue sloppy joes here, which is going to be kind of interesting. I'm I'll post a few pictures here and there on our Discord. Anybody that would love to join is welcome to do so. The link under the stream is accessible. Just let us know at any time when you decide to join, so we know you're there. We have a landing zone which kind of isolates it, so we don't have anybody come in and try to steal or rip off people on scams. So we do manual verification. So just let us know you're there, and we'll be glad to bring you right on in. But for now, we're at about 3 hours here, and I do not have enough time to continue doing this. I do have another thing that I wanted to do, which is some crab rangoons. But like I said, that's not really a local thing. That was just a me thing, and my my brain of migraine decided to do it. So just joined. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's a couple of minutes because I had one attack come in where they spammed a lot of very offensive words constantly, and it took several hours to clean it out. So I have it on slow mode to prevent that. Make it no fun for them and they won't do it. But if you're there and you just told me you're there, that's fine. One of us here can get it. We've got several mods. Okay. So let's see what we can do about heading on out of here for the day so I can get everything packaged up. First of all, let's hit our wall of love. Calico, welcome in, and thank you for the follow as well. Hanyo and Jindal, thank you for the resubs and for being here for so long. I really appreciate it. You guys have been real good friends now, and I'm glad to see it. Sleepy Tufts, also thank you for the follow as well. Coming in at the last second. And Jin Sen, Dio, and any of our other mods that have been here today. Thank you so much for coming in and helping. It is always a tough run to try and do these streams and keep an eye on it at the same time. Oh, you were asleep? Well, I'm glad you still caught it. You still managed to catch it before we popped out. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Let's see if we can find somebody to raid today. Shoot. Laundry folded. Pipes were immaculate. Oh, and you raided in. Came in with Jindal, huh? Okay. I'm not going to ask about the name because I kind of suspect we got the same thing going on there. Let's see. Let's go say hi to... I hope you get some sleep tonight, Dio. I know it's getting late over there. Thank you for being here. Let's go hit... I guess we'll go hit Duff. I haven't raided Duff in forever, and they haven't been streaming except for recently. It's been a long time. Make sure I spell that right. They're working on Deep Rock Galactic. So as for a raid message, let me get it started. If you have my emotes, you're welcome to use them. If you don't, you're welcome to use whatever you like. But today, we'll just go with our default here for a cooking stream. You're welcome to cut and paste it and copy it and chat if you like. We're going to head over and say hi to Duff. Duff's working on Deep Rock Galactic tonight. I can't really raid other cooking streamers on our side because there really aren't any. I'm one of the few. So hang on for the raid. Get you some extra points. Glad to see you. I should be back on Monday. I'm going to try to do another art stream. I'm still learning. I need to I still need to keep working on my penmanship, let's say, because I'm still kind of wobbly. So I'll pick out a few things this weekend, see how it goes. In any case, we're heading over to Duff. Have a great night. See you all later. Bye now.